have 18 slides I'd like to take you through. There's a number of goals that I have, and one of the goals is to get through the slides, deliver some messages to you, and then have some time for some question and answer at the end. Today, it's really a good time to have a forum because it's, we need to tie up some loose ends from last semester and our work throughout the whole academic year. It's really been kind of an interesting semester. One of these days I might write a book about the 9 days in the life of a college president or something. And I didn't even get to put in Cuba here, and I probably should. But we have some loose ends that I'd like to talk with you about. I do feel really compelled to talk about the experience that I'm starting to call Threat Week, or the Threat Experience, on February 2, 3, and on. Since then, some comments about President Obama's visit, and I suspect what many of you have come to listen to, and that's what we know at this point in time about our budget and the direction that Northern is going to take with regard to responding to that budget. So let me tie up some of these loose ends here. This prioritizing academic programs, I think many of you know the Educational Policies Committee, which the membership is both administrative and faculty, spent the good deal of summer and fall working up and adopting a set of best practices criteria for the reallocation of resources. If you remember, last summer, one of our budget model was a two-step model to implement some changes by June 30th, and then a number of positioning pieces that we were going to make sure we attended to. And one of the key pieces of that July 1 to December positioning piece was to develop the criteria by which we could make some decisions about programs to reinvest in and programs that we would either disinvest or terminate. The EPC has been working diligently. They've gone through a number of materials and analysis of peers, et cetera. And that report is coming to the provost here fairly soon. And that will be a guiding document for the provost as she begins to contribute to the budget discussions that we will have for the remainder of the semester and clearly through the summer. I'm assuming that Dr. Cook and the EPC will get the criteria out along with their recommendations. We can filter through those and get them out in front of the community for broad input. That becomes a very interesting piece, and I guess throughout my presentation I'll be referring back and forth to things I mention now that have an influence later on, and I apologize if I confuse you about that. One of the second pieces of that positioning strategy was that we would conduct a very thorough review of athletics, and I have postponed that report. I was hoping that we would have it done by March. Obviously, as many of you know, we've had some very unfortunate events happen, and I'll have to tell you my congratulations to the athletic department, Steve Reed, Bridget Barrowby, Brian Goudreau, just a bunch of folks there with Ken Godfrey's health challenge. Those folks have stepped up in very, very big ways to help us meet our most immediate day-to-day thing, and that's meeting conference requirements. And we have a fairly extensive net program of both varsity sports, club sports, and intramural sports. And when you lose a number of people to health reasons, people bring their A game, and people have been able to do that. So I want to thank everyone, coaches, athletes, everyone. It's been a real big challenge. I am hoping to get back on track with that athletic review fairly soon, because a lot of that, if you would remember, has a lot to do with what sports we keep, what we add, where is that right mix of programs. I do want to share with you that one part of the athletic program that we have not postponed, and that is a complete financial and programmatic review of the United States Olympic Education Center. That small team has convened. We are working with the stakeholders in the USOEC, Jeff Kleinsmith and his team. We're also working with the NGBs that govern the individual sports. And the most significant thing is our work with the U.S. Olympic Committee out of Colorado Springs. The new leadership there, Mr. Scott Blackman, has indicated that business as usual is over. When I met with him in Washington, D.C., and then again with two of his leadership people here in Marquette, there appears to be a willingness to work with us to develop a different model over marketing and fundraising. Many of you don't know, but the United States Olympic Committee out of Colorado Springs has a stranglehold on who you can talk to, who you can ask for money, how you can attract benefactors, how you can use the rings for marketing if you go to a Starbucks or any of our other vendors. Literally, it's almost a hands-off. And Mr. Blackman has indicated that if we are able to have more control over the vendors in our area, particularly vendors that are not on the primary vendor list for the U.S. Olympic Committee, that they would entertain the idea of us making an ask to those regional businesses and ask them to support the United States Olympic Education Center. I will be meeting in New York City with their marketing vice president. I'll probably end up in Colorado Springs this semester as well. But we think that's an opening to an opportunity we have never had in the history of the USOEC. And so that part of the athletic review is going ahead full steam. As we're all aware, and it makes for morbid reading at times, but in my job I have to do that. But as I was reading through the House Joint Resolution, the continuing resolution in Congress, the B.J. Stupak scholarships have been eliminated in the proposal, along with a number of other very significant components to Northern's programs. But we're working with our team in D.C. to try and restore that funding. We think that we have some support from a number of other senators that will take up the mantle of preserving the program here at Northern. So I will continue to keep you informed, but again, there's pressure, as you'll see throughout the presentation today, at the federal level, at the state level, at supporters like the governing boards for sports and other similar types of groups, as we all try to respond to the budget pressures that we're